Saturday. Christmas comes early.
Unbelievable! Welcome to this incredible scene.
Bills.
To the end zone!
Chargers.
It's a touchdown!
An exclusive NFL game.
That's fantastic!
Live in primetime.
Wow!
Only on Peacock.
With a Christmas gift to their fans. They're having some fun now.
Bills versus Chargers. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern. Exclusively on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool. It helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/pixelnba. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements.
The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another episode of the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. We are the KC Soccer Journal. Cody, Thad, Robert, and first-timer Josh Wallace is here. Welcome, Josh. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, he's been around for a while. We got a lot of faces. We have an army of people behind the scenes at the KC Soccer Journal, and I'm trying to feature more of them. So very excited to have Josh here. Big win for Sporting Kansas City, 1-0 over Minnesota United. Only the second road win of the entire season. Came at a very good time. Absolutely wild game. There's a bit of anarchy from the referee in this one, Thad. Your name in the chat here for this one. Sorry, I didn't introduce your bit. His name here is Thad is Confused. Is that one of the things you're confused about? Some of those calls in this game?
Some of those calls, some of the calls in the current game, the fact that Current and Kansas City both won in the same weekend just doesn't seem right anymore.
Everything was backwards. It was a good weekend in KC sports. Even the Royals got a series win. How about that?
A series win? Dang. Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, I went today and saw them lose, of course, but that's how that works. Otherwise, it was a very good weekend. Thad, what did you think of this anarchy in the 1-0 win over Minnesota?
I think it was a good road win, man. Regardless of how it went, they needed to get points. They got points. I'm just happy with it. So they might have been a couple calls missed, or might have been questionable things. They scored. Cody is back. He scored. I'm happy.
My weird thing with this referee was, it was bad refereeing, but somehow all of the calls actually balanced out. Like when it was all said and done, I think it was like an even thing that went on, but there were things, fouls that didn't get called that I don't understand, that I don't genuinely don't understand what was going on. Josh, what did you think of the win last night?
Oh, I loved it. It was one of those sort of gritty wins, honestly.
Gritty.
10 million save on, I think it was Timu Pukki, was just remarkable.
Yes.
I mean, that saved 3 points right there, because if he scores that and we go down, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. And then Gotti Kinda coming on, and oh man, just the move to beat the goalkeeper was special. I mean, that's
touch.
Just what he brings. So yeah, I loved watching the game. It was really sloppy most of the game.
Anarchy, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but towards the end, it got real exciting there towards the end.
It did. You mentioned Tim Melia. Robert, we've talked a lot recently about how maybe at that goalkeeper position, we used to get these just moments of brilliance, just magic that would come out of nowhere and save the team, and how we felt like we had been missing those. And just after last week, when I was giving Melia grief for that penalty that I still don't know what that was, and then he comes out and makes this save and gives us that moment that we've been missing, Robert.
Yeah, Cody giving goalkeepers grief? No, come on, never. But anyway, yeah, I mean, he was in a position where he had to really totally stretch out to get that one, and he made the play. And how about Jake Davis, though? He knew nothing, absolutely nothing about it. The ball hits him in the head as he's turning away. But that right there, I mean, Minnesota was frustrated all night. It was just awesome to see.
Speaking of my treatment of keepers, that announcer was entirely backwards for the field player making a save. The second that came off of him, he was like, "Oh, I don't know that he knew much about that." When if that was a keeper, he would have been like, "Oh, off the line, what a great save in the spot at the right time." And because it was a field player, it was like, "Oh, he didn't know anything about that." The double standard with how we call keepers is insane. Thad, Timmy saved us, man.
He did. That was I will say that was a spectacular save where he had to get across most of the goal, diving across on that, man. You have to give credit for that.
I do. Wonderful, wonderful save. There's a screenshot going around that is absurd that a save was made and the ball was not in the back of the net. So we got a little bit of the old school Timmy back. What is he? He's 37, right? At this point, 37-year-old Tim Melia, I believe, still doing it. Right. We need, if we're gonna make this run here in the last 5 games, like we've been saying, we need those big moments. We need him to come up. The Gotti Kinda goal, Josh, that you mentioned, that first touch that was absolutely incredible. The game was absolutely calling for Gotti to come on in that spot.
Gotti was, like you said, he was exactly what was needed at that point. And coming off of injury, coming off the travel, coming off of potentially being in a doghouse, everybody was worried about him even getting time ever again because Peter was critical of Israel calling him up and him going. But they chatted before the game. He comes on, makes the difference pretty quickly. I forget how fast that was, but it was not too long after.
Jacob Peterson is known as the answer. I'm not going with Gotti Kinda for that, but I'm going to nominate Roger Espinosa because him coming in, great ball that he played in there. That may be Roger's new thing, just coming in and giving game-winning assist.
He's done that in a couple games.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Some of that anarchy from the referee that I was talking about. A little bit of controversy. Andreu Fontas still on the field. Robert, should he have been playing the finish to that game?
Thad, you and I need to have a talk here. Josh, love to have you here, but you don't know so much about Cody and his rants. Thad, I'm afraid that Cody's gonna just rant and go off on Andreu Fontas right now. So
Cody's not gonna rant.
I'm fired up, boys.
All right, Cody, what you got? He is fired up. He's fired up. He's angry.
I'm fired up.
Cody, go for it.
No more Mr. Nice Guy from me, you guys. Fonty, you better watch your back. You know why? Because I've got it. That's right. I'm here, pal. I'm not going anywhere.
Wait, that sounds supportive, Cody.
So, Andreu Fontas, take your cool hair and your natural charisma and just let me know if you need a friend sometime.
Wait, you sound mad, but you're just saying sweet things to Andreu.
Oh, it never ends with this guy. List goes on and on. Teammates love him. Beautiful family. He's a good father. He had the gall, the audacity, Thad, to help the Cauldron paint that last tifo. Just getting involved in the community. Who does this guy think he is?
Come on, man. There's no wonder I'm confused right now.
No, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people thinking that I don't know how nice of a guy he is.
Come on, man. I knew you couldn't do this the whole way through. Come on.
So, Andreu, I told you, I'm right here, man. Whether you like it or not, we're going to be buddies. So why don't you just take my phone number and shove it up your contacts list?
And Cody drops the mic and walks away. So I think I'm in charge now. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think though the foul that a lot of people are saying, oh, that could have been a second yellow it wasn't called a foul because it wasn't a foul. At least a yellow card offense foul. I think it was persistent infringement more than anything. I mean, he was teetering on the edge there a couple of times. It's like, you better watch it, man, because we go down a man, then Reynoso is going to have nobody literally to stand in his way. Not that Fontas did.
He had one foul that seemed like, all right, that was the last one. And then there were 2 more fouls after that.
Right,
and
exactly.
he still stayed on the field. See, he's just too nice of a guy. That's what I'm saying. It's infectious. You can't send him off the field.
I think Sporting has been the punished by refs who don't want to throw people out of games, and they finally got the benefit of that same treatment. And I don't know that I would have thrown a yellow on that particular play, but I think he also got the benefit of Reynoso overselling it. So you throw yourself backwards like that, the ref thinks you're actually just diving, even if even if there was a foul there.
I made my feelings known about Fontas, but is this defense too leaky for what we need in the last run up of this season, Josh?
It is. I mean, Fontas is a great ball playing center back. Probably one of the best, if not the best, in the league. But the runs in behind are really what is killing Sporting KC in the defense all the time. The giveaways from Rosero. I mean, it's just difficult. It's difficult to win games like that. And I mean, even you want a bend but don't break defense.
Yeah.
But it seems like far too often the defense is breaking.
You mentioned those giveaways, and in my head they don't even come from 1 or 2 people that are the problem. Like Polito had a really bad one. Radoya, who had a really good game, he had at least one bad moment there, a giveaway in a bad spot. It just seems to come from everywhere. That's why I use the word leaky. Like it seems like they can stay organized. They do all of the right things until there's just a giveaway in the midfield. Then all breaks loose.
Yeah, I think it's the part of the problem with Sporting trying to be a possession team is unless you're the old Barcelona where you can tiki-taka everybody to death, and even they gave up balls once in a while. But that's the problem with Sporting is that they want to be possession, and they're not as perfect at it as they want to be, and you have teams that will counter them and punish them when they do that. And then being on the road at Minnesota, I mean, they've been a pretty good team, and they're even better with players playing better right now. So it came very close to them being punished harsh.
To bring it back to Gadi Kinda, Robert, the difference in the way that he and Tommy play, like I don't know, sometimes they do have a similar style, but other times they're entirely different players. What is the difference in their movement?
Well, I mean, both teams, like you're saying, both guys play the 10, right? So they're more of the attacking side. But if you look at the heat map for Tommy last night, and this is the case almost every match, it's all left. I mean, literally, the heat map shows him he wasn't right side of midfield at any point last night, always on the left. But then you look at Gadi's heat map, just for the time he was in there, he's number one, going down the gut more often, which gets us in the box more often, draws attention to him too. And he was, on both sides of the field pretty equally. So Gadi just brings that more kind of, not necessarily directness, but a different kind of flavor than Tommy does. He's not as predictable as, say, maybe Tommy is.
Any other final thoughts from this match that anybody wants to get in?
And I'm going to do this for Josh. Josh, This is for you, man. WhoScored.com made Jake Davis the man of the match. He had like 7 tackles, 4 interceptions, which was really nice of him. He had that ball hit him in the head, went over the bar. He did have the most bad touches recorded, though, by WhoScored.com. But Josh, go on your positive rant here on Jake Davis.
Hold on. That was a peek behind the curtain there into the KC Soccer Journal Slack channel where we had a riveting debate about Jake Davis.
Jake Davis, yeah. he's not the most flashiest player, and I think that's probably why I admire his game so much. He's not the flashiest player, but he does a lot of the dirty work. His positioning was great. I think I looked the other day, and he leads the team in tackles per game. So he's making quite a bit of tackles from his position. I think he's just aggressive, he's aggressive. His touches, they do have to get better. I saw there was a couple where he just kind of, just lost the ball where he could in a really good position too. But I think what you want at minimum from a right back or from anyone on that back line is effort, and he is never going to cheat you with effort.
That's true. That's why he gets on Vermees's field.
Yeah. That is exactly, I think, why he gets on the field and why he stays on the field.
And that's why he kind of, this was never his position. It's just Vermees finds these guys that will do the job he wants them to do and stick them at right back if they're not fitting anywhere else. And so that's how he gets on the field, right, Thad?
Oh, definitely. And I've liked Jake since I've been watching him with the academy, with SKC2, just the amount of effort he puts in. I'll be a little bit critical of him, though, is that one of the problems he had when he was a midfielder is he would sometimes go astray too far, and he's starting to get that into his right back spot too. He'll do the dribble up, he'll cut in, he'll dribble across the entire field and drop it off to somebody, and now he's almost at the left wing when he needs to be at the right back spot, and people are countering down that side, and he has to hustle, and other people are getting pulled out of position to cover for him, which is the hallmark of a good team, but I think he's just doing it a little bit too much at times. But if I was gonna I think about this sometimes after games, like who would be the player of the game, who's the man of the match, or however you want to say it. And last night, is it Gotti for the goal? Is it Tim for the save? Is it Jake for just becoming kind of JFD now?
Did you guys hear him at the beginning of that say he liked Jake Davis before it was cool?
Did I say that?
You're like, oh, I've been following him for years, all the way back in the academy.
Yeah, okay. So it's still true, whether I was intending it that way or not. But yeah,
I need a sounder to call people out for like humble brags like that. I'm gonna go find an audio for this. So,
hey, Thad, to your point though, I think there was a time where he actually had a throw in on the left wing last night.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I would believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, he does, and Caden Pierre, when he had that stretch of games, I think it was 2 years ago, he did that pretty often too. He would stray a bit too far, and then the team would start coming back down the other way. So hopefully Jake Davis takes that out of his game. I think just keep him positionally in the right spot, he'll be good. But to the point of who is the man of the match, man, I love Kinda's goal. I mean, it really gave it. It was huge. It was necessary. But 10 million, man, he was solid and stout in that goal. And I feel like a couple other hits from maybe another goalkeeper, some of those shots might have gone in, but he keeps it steady. He was great.
To put a bow on the conversation, I guess, this game, they didn't play well. All that anarchy, they kind of survived it. And I'm looking at this like no more losses the rest of the season. This was the bad game that they probably should have got the loss, and they survived it, and it only seems like it's going up from there. And I like Josh giving Melia the man of the match so we can gas our guy up and come out there and do what he did again and do it next week on Wednesday against Nashville.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need, have coverage options to protect the things you value most, file a claim right on the State Farm mobile app, and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
Speaking of that, look at that transition. We're going to talk about the standings and the outlook and the rest of the 5 games of the season here for Sporting Kansas City. Robert, what happened this weekend? Actually, so I guess I should say we're recording right now Sunday night. I know all of you will be listening to this throughout the week, so you will know what happens, but it is 1-0 right now at halftime of Austin and Portland, a very important game that we are rooting for a draw. So, Robert, give us an update on the standings and where we're at right now, short of this game.
Well, speaking of draws, we had Houston drew, so that was nice. Dallas drew, another nice draw for us.
That's a good
basically
one.
what teams. Yeah, and San Jose beat RSL 2-1. RSL and San Jose are both above us, but they're not that far away. So that was maybe the only negative result on the night. Otherwise, things went pretty well for us. Otherwise, if you want to look at the standings,
above the
right
line,
now,
baby, above the line. I'm gonna get
we
this
are
in.
above the line. Yes, it's the first time in, gosh, I don't know, first time since 2021.
Well, no, we were above it at another point in this season before falling
Were we?
down.
Okay.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Remember,
Yeah,
10
'cause we
games.
started
10 games, no
and
wins.
whatever.
Well, we got to be careful with that. I just
And
wanted to.
alphabetically, they're below the line. So
Right. I just wanted to make sure I got that in there because after this game that is currently on right now, we may not be above the line anymore,
Right.
I believe, is how that will work. So
Yeah,
we can't
whoever
be saying
wins
that
tonight,
too
if
much.
somebody wins tonight, they will leap over us by 1 point. Austin will have played one less match after tonight as well, too. So we got to keep an eye on games played. Right now, we're level with Dallas, yet they've played 2 less games than us on 35 points. So pretty tight up and down from position 7 through position 12 right now, or 11 maybe. So games to watch coming this Wednesday. All the teams around us that are tight with us, Minnesota, Dallas, Austin, Portland, Houston, and San Jose all play.
Wednesday is
So
a big day.
Yes, it is. Another big day. Yeah,
every game's a big day going the rest of the season.
for sure.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. And eventually some of these Wednesday, I guess it's every Wednesday after this, all the other teams are playing and making up the games in hand. That is just maddening about the MLS schedule. We have been 2 and 3 games ahead of everybody else since somehow the second week of the season. I don't know how that's possible, but we've always had more games than everyone else. Josh, the remaining schedule here. I have said no more losses. We've got Nashville, Houston, St. Louis, Real Salt Lake, and another Minnesota. What's the in the final 5 games, what will the record be?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I'm looking for I'll filibuster for you. I'm looking for 11 points. Or if we do get a loss, you can still get 10 points out of that. And looking around the league, if you just want to be glass half full, that I think you can get to the point where 10 or 11 points out of this is enough to sneak above the line.
Yeah, I feel like for us to really sneak above that line, we could maybe lose one of those. So I think most of those, because how many games is that left? What, 4?
5.
How many?
5.
5? I think maybe we could lose. Do we have a tiebreaker on someone?
Well, right now we're above Dallas level on points and goal differential. So it's the third tiebreaker there is how we're leaping ahead of them. But
Goals scored, yeah.
But they do have the 2 games in hand. It's almost too far out to play this game just because there's only 5 games left for us, but 6 and 7 games left for everybody else. And as we've seen, the Western Conference makes 0 sense. Everyone is separated by like 9 points from second place to last place. So it just like the game last night, it's going to be anarchy. Robert, how are you feeling about the last 5 games?
Well, I'm going to throw a little bit of water on our enthusiasm for last night.
Oh,
Let's
of
admit
course
it.
you are.
Let's admit it, guys. Minnesota doesn't have a striker. They've got Reynoso, and he was dangerous, but they don't have a striker. Nashville has Surridge, who has shown that he can put the ball away, as well as Mukhtar, of course.
Yeah.
Houston, Hector Herrera, can finish the ball. Definitely. St. Louis has got some strikers. Salt Lake just obtained LAFC's cast off, and he's scoring for them. So we've got to keep strikers quiet, is my point. If we can do that, if Rosero can do that, if Fontas can do that, and maybe we've got a chance to get those points and maybe even sneak into that number 8 spot. Not that that's any better than 9, right?
But it is better than 9 because it hosts the 9 spot.
Right. True. And then I tell you, the other tactic that I really like is last night we had 12 fouls to Minnesota's 4, and we've got to be aggressive. We cannot sit back and let the other team be the aggressor, and I just hope that continues.
How long has Nashville had that striker?
Surridge started with them at Leagues Cup, and he was hot in Leagues Cup, but he hasn't been since then. So
I'm just looking at their last 6 games, going backwards for Nashville: draw, loss.
Yeah. They're
then a win and then 2 losses. So they've not been in form either.
In MLS for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Zimmerman, I think, is still out with an injury.
Is he?
Like a hip injury. Yeah, that might be a break.
Yes, we can dodge that one.
I like Zimmerman, but yeah, I would be happy if he just stayed in Nashville for a while.
Yeah.
RSL has 1 win in the last 4, the other 3 being losses, which is a team we got to face soon. So nobody we're facing is in really good form.
Robert, you mentioned facing teams that have kind of that guy, the very dangerous player. I think you were maybe focusing on strikers, but Minnesota does have a guy like that. He's not a striker, but Reynoso, he is
right.
So
and I
good.
mentioned him.
Yeah, he is so insanely good. And somehow he did not get the ball across the line last night. So again, I feel very good about this win. It's one of those that it felt like it should have been the loss. We kind of got lucky, and that's something we have not done. I don't remember the last time the soccer gods looked upon us, and I think we finally got one.
Yeah, I would tell you the team I'm probably most scared to play, though, is Houston. Houston looks like they're actually playing well, and they're firing on a lot of cylinders. So not to look past Nashville, but Houston will definitely be a tough game.
Wow, I like this. Josh, not afraid of St. Louis at all. Not nervous about the rivalry game, the grudge match, number 3.
Is that are we home again against St. Louis?
No, we gotta go away.
I feel I'm still iffy about that game then.
Honestly, I think that works in our favor. They're at the top of the table. We're the ones that really need it, and it's a rivalry game, so it's all bets are off. Normally, rivalry games don't matter how good one team is and how bad one team is. So I think that plays in our favor. Again, no more losses. Cody said it first. 5 games left to go. No more losses.
St. Louis hasn't been that good since Leagues Cup either. They've got 1 win in the last 5, 2 draws, 2 losses, and their fans are being awfully whiny.
As we knew they
As
would.
they are like to be, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, at the beginning of the year, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to win forever. We're hardly ever going to lose. And now they're like, we can't win again.
Okay, any thoughts on Nashville on Wednesday? Are we going to be able to survive Hani Mukhtar?
If Radoya plays well.
Yeah,
it'll be big on Radoya that game. He did look good. Thad, what did you think of him? We finally got him to start a game.
And that's kind of funny because I've kind of been liking Radoya a lot, but I didn't think he was as good in this last game as I was hoping he would be. You mentioned he had 1 bad pass. I thought he had a couple of them, and I just think that it was not as good as I'd hoped. But maybe it's just seeing the full 90 that he was out there. Well, he wasn't out for the full 90, right? Or was he? But he played majority of the game.
Yeah, definitely not his best game, but there were the moments that you can see he maybe does things that others don't, or that Remy doesn't from that position, or maybe he does them better. But there was just really good vision. There was a couple interceptions that he had, just good step-ups. And yeah, I think if he's still warming up into 90 minutes fitness, and there's more that we're gonna get from him, then that'll definitely come in handy against Hani Mukhtar, perhaps the best player in MLS before Messi arrived.
Yeah, so Cody, what you were referring to is he kind of stays in the middle and then he veers left or right of that middle, but he's not all over the place like Voltaire can be when he's playing the 6. So he's that steady in front of the back line presence most of the time, which is what we need.
Shielding the back line, man. That's what it is. Like you said, it's what's needed.
And Nashville play with the 2-man midfield. I mean, I know Hani Mukhtar is normally kind of playing in that 10 role, but I don't think he does a ton of defending. So, I mean, we'll probably have the midfield advantage with Radoria. I don't know who starts between Kinda and Tommy, and then Remy Voltaire.
That'll be interesting.
But I mean, if we can just command the midfield and control the game, gosh, man, it'll help a lot and limit the turnovers, right? Like especially the turnovers from midfield. I don't know.
I don't know if Radoria's going to go a full 90 or even start Wednesday night after playing 90 or near 90 on Saturday. We'll see.
80 minutes.
Yeah.
He came off for Roger. And then you got to remember they're going to have to balance all 3 games this week.
Yeah.
So it's, Peter is very well known for playing guys until they drop in those situations, because he's going to go for max points. So I would expect as strong a lineup as possible on Wednesday. Then he'll see who can go on Saturday against Houston. And we could see a little bit more change on that game, but we'll just see, because it is Radoya hasn't had a lot of full games. I mean, he hasn't had any for a long time.
Yeah.
Reboot your credit card with Apple Card, the credit card created by Apple. It gives you unlimited daily cash back that you can now choose to grow in a high-yield savings account that's built right into the Wallet app. Apply for Apple Card now in the Wallet app on iPhone and start growing your daily cash with savings today. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility requirements. Savings accounts provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC. Terms apply.
All right. Moving on. We talked about it being a good weekend for KC Sports. Thad, your job here is to be very excited and make us believe that this 2-1 win for the Current over the San Diego Wave is a big deal and it's going to spark something and get them into the playoffs.
Man, they make Sporting look like a top of the table team as far as standings go right now.
Yeah.
They are not mathematically eliminated. At least last time I checked, they're not mathematically eliminated. I don't think that changed today, but if it did, that's tough, man. They are so far down. They did, I think, manage to get from 12th to 11th, so not the bottom of the table.
Okay.
And they looked good in the first part. Dabinia, amazing goal, which she pulls out every so often, just wonder goals. From distance, upper 90, across the goal.
Ballon d'Or nominee.
Yep. Hammy did her thing with being in the box and just kind of redirecting a ball that almost gets saved, kind of spins into the goal. Just one of those gritty, Hamilton's going to get those kind of things once in a while. And then for the rest of the game, they just basically had to hold on. And, there's calls there that if you question Fontas should have got a card, you should look at the Stina Balasager Pedersen tackle on Alex Morgan.
Who's up next for them?
Well, this NWSL standings, by the way, I'll just throw it out there, are even crazier than MLS, because you've got 10 points separating the Current, who are at number 11, from the top team, 32, Portland Thorns. But hey, they've all played the same amount of games. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. I know that's a petty thing to be annoyed about, but it's just been going on for way too long.
And up next is Washington Spirit. They're away, and then home for Chicago Red Stars, which could cement their spot not being 12th place. And then back on the road to New York Gotham. And throwing in the middle of that, they also have a friendly against Monterey's team that they're going to have their first international friendly in the middle of trying to get into the playoffs that last week. That is a little bit crazy to me, but.
And how many teams make the playoffs then?
6.
Okay.
So it's not mathematically eliminated.
Right.
SKC2 almost capped off a perfect weekend this evening, but fell 3-2 to Minnesota United 2.
They're the one team that is in the playoffs.
Yeah, everything was backwards.
MLS Next Pro, they're in the playoffs, man. They're in a decent spot. Benny's had them playing good for most of the time, but that's now 2 straight losses, one at home, one on the road. I think the Minnesota United team just came out because they both played Minnesota, like Sporting first team yesterday and 2 team today, and Minnesota just wanted to get a little revenge maybe in that game.
Yeah, and I think I had read that. I mean, Minnesota, for them to have a chance to be in the MLS Next Pro playoffs, they needed to win that game.
Yep.
So it was a must-win for them, not necessarily so for SKC2. But I was surprised there were so many first-teamers, in the team for SKC2, and I think I had just watched the game and they had got demolished on the counter. It was like every turnover was coming right back down past them, and Minnesota was clinical early. So,
Josh, we're going to forgive you, or should I say Peter Vermees is going to forgive you. Only finals are must-wins, man.
Only finals are must-wins. That's true.
Yeah. Robert, you're referencing there that the announcer also got that answer out of him this week. I heard that on the broadcast as well. People made a big deal about him saying that quote earlier in the season, maybe at the wrong time. But that's how he has responded to that question for a long time now. That is his response to in any situation. That's just the thing he says. So
yeah, Peter's consistent, man. He will. Yeah, he won't say a game's a must win because honestly, if I think in his mind, if he says this game's a must win in order to, turn around momentum or whatever, then if they lose, then that's everybody's done. They call it quits, right? So he won't call those games must wins. He'll say, yeah, we need points. We need to, we need to change momentum. We need to do this, but he doesn't want to call them must wins. It could totally screw up people's mentalities.
Okay, well, to nitpick it,
go ahead.
The last game of the season, if you need 3 points to get into the playoffs, then like you just said, if you don't get the 3 points, then you just go home. You pack it up, you go home. So that is not a final. It is. Would
you like me to be Peter Vermees in this?
Yes. Argue with me, Peter Vermees.
All right.
Do a voice.
Hypothetical situation.
No,
we're down to the last
voice.
game. We need 3 points to make the playoffs, right?
Yes. No.
We're going to treat it as a final.
Oh, okay. There you go. Good job. Good job. I even heard a little Vermees accent in there too. I like that. Good job.
Yeah.
Limited fake Vermees. Thank you for that. Okay. Any final thoughts here as we wrap up the show? Double game week, so nothing. It'll be hard to get anything on Tuesday, a training or a midweek pod in. But big Wednesday in MLS.
Next 2 games are huge.
Huge.
And thank God, Sporting Kansas City for making this season exciting and interesting.
Yes, I made that point at the end of the last episode too, and I'm going to do it again. 10 games into the season, we would have been just dreaming for this scenario now, that we have something to fight for and play for, and that Alan Pulido is somehow scoring goals. Oh, I wish I could go tell myself after 10 games into the season, go back in time and tell that Cody that Alan actually scores some goals and that he doesn't leave for free after not doing anything or playing his whole contract. Oh, man. I'm very thankful for all this. Josh, you got to get in here on this. You're feeling good about this, right?
I am feeling good about it. I mean, Pulido's in the Golden Boot race, and I think this next game against Nashville, I hope we're just stronger on the ball. I hope we, are really good with the counter pressing and, just really good in possession. I think that'll put us in the best place to win on Wednesday. So I'm excited for that match and these upcoming matches. But, from here on out, these all need to be wins or draws. Losses are only going to hurt us.
Pulido.
We need 2 Pulido goals early. So Robert's going to do the recap that night, and he can just have the headline already ahead of time. Hani who?
Oh, there we go. We're calling it.
That's a good one.
Hani who. Well done with that, Thad.
I think we'll want to give the home team a little more credit and give them the headline, but okay.
All right, the sub headline, man.
Okay.
Pulido in the Golden Boot race. I'm calling it. He's going to get it. If we're going to get into the playoffs, he's going to have to get that golden boot. He's only 2 behind at the moment right now, I believe. So Pulido's going to get it, and no more losses for this season for Sporting. Sporting!
The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.